He said the colored soldier couldn't think fast enough to fight in tanks. That hurt because we looked up to Patton. He was our hero. That's why it felt so damn good when I his daughter while I was in tank school.
Oh, bro, hit that thing with the vengeance of all his ancestors. Every stroke, he said, "This is for Conte. This is for Gente." Black men who were called corny now date white women, and this happens. Video by JR Wisdom. Let's check this out, man.
And you know what Patton said about the colored troop? He said the colored soldier couldn't think fast enough to fight in tanks. That hurt because we looked up to Patton. He was our hero. That's why it felt so damn good when I his daughter while I was in tank school. I put it to that woman with a force she ain't never seen before.
Bro, hit that thing with the vengeance of all his ancestors. Every stroke, he said, "This is for Conte. This is for Gente." I don't know that, man. I don't know African names like that. Bro said he was stroking for the ancestors. Crazy. Damn, she ain't even a little white.
I'm sorry.
She don't, bro, there comes a point where when a white woman, when her body is shaped a certain way and she wear a certain hairstyle, especially if she got a little bit of brown into her, you know what I'm saying? Whether that be the artificial spray tans or she's just one of those Caucasians that tan well, because they do exist. There are people who can go from being white people can go from being super pale to, I ain't gonna say as dark as you or me, assuming that you are black, but they can get pretty brown. You know what I'm saying? She almost, I see this, I'm like, when it's frozen, I see a white woman. But once the motion, that ain't even a white woman no more, bro. She ethnic. Huh? She's ethnic.
I'm sorry, brother. You've been caught.
I'm sorry, brother, but you are in the book of Negroes.
The book of Negroes?
What do you mean? I never. Sorry, brother.
Women love my skis, yes, it's magic, it's a blessing. When I die, I'ma go to the Snow Bunny heaven. Snow Bunny heaven.
JRE live in Snow Bunny heaven.
Snow Bunny heaven. Women love
Without blaming black women, what is the reason for you exclusively dating outside of your race?
I know this question is for black guys, and I'm actually on my way skiing right now, so I'm extra white. But the answer is obvious. White women are easier to seduce. What do women want? Tall, dark, handsome. If you're black, you're a third of the way there. I mean, I'm not making this up. Old white women go to Kenya to fulfill their lifelong dream to sleep with black dudes.
Really?
Wouldn't a trip to Atlanta just be cheaper? But I guess you'd have to find the straight guys.
Bro, you know, when I was living in Austin, I lived in this community where there was this steakhouse that was pretty close by. And I lived in a nice community. Upper middle class, I'd say. I was renting, though, so not that big of a flex. Anyway, there was this steakhouse there, and it was a well-known fact that if you go there at certain times, there would be cougars there looking to, you know what I'm saying, find them a little sugar baby, but like a guy, right? Like the women, white women in their 50s and 60s who are either divorced or they just don't ever have sex with their husbands anymore. And yeah, man, I was told that if I were to go there, I could clean up, bro. Probably pay off all my debt. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do it. But it's a thing, bro. It's a thing. Them old white women, once they see, that's the beauty about getting older. You stop caring about what people think. That's when you really see what a person's true desires are. When they stop caring about what other people think, what do they do then? apparently these old white women, they're going to Kenya, getting themselves that dark mahogany wood.
But I mean, if I'm being real, like if a wizard came to me when I was young and horny and said, hey, you can be black, and here's the downside. You're going to lose your white privilege. You're going to have to excel in life to be treated averagely by a bank. Cops are going to be twice as likely to shoot you, but the upside is white women will fetishize you. I'd be like, well, time to get in shape because I'm going to be dodging these bullets on the way to banging white chicks.
Listen, it's not all white women, though. There's a particular type of white woman that likes black men.
I have never met a black man in an interracial relationship that has a healthy relationship with his own identity. And here's why. Number one, they fetishize their partner for their non-blackness and hold them over black women. Number two, they speak negatively on...
So that, she would say that applies to me. Okay, let's see if this... I believe I have an incredibly amazing self-image. I love my blackness and I love everything about me. All right, what's next?
Black women or on black people as a whole. Number three,
That's not true. In fact, the majority of women that I've dated, I can't say they've been black because are we going to count the girls I dated in Jamaica? I was still a virgin. I was very young, but Jamaica is 98% black. And so my, you know what I'm saying? Well, what'd I do? A little kiss on the cheek. We hold hands, peck on the lips. That was the extent of it. But I did have like 4 or 5 of those, and 4 of them were black. And then I've dated a few black chicks here in America. But yeah, at the same time, though, you know, I've dated outside my race. I married outside my race. I'm not going to say what she's saying doesn't apply to some dudes, but that is just a thing, too. You know what I'm saying? There are dudes who just love women, bro. They love women. They love pussy. They're not really too concerned about the package that it comes in. You know what I mean? But
they don't even identify with their own identity in blackness to then make themselves more likable or for them to feel more comfortable fitting Eurocentric standards or standards from another person of color. And 4, they allow their partner to then culturally appropriate.
I feel like I'm definitely not trying to be white. That's for sure.
Or to emulate black women without checking them or telling them what is culturally sound. Not to say there are no black men out there that have a healthy relationship with their own identity, but just from the ones that I've seen, it's usually giving self-hate.
Well, there are. That's definitely a thing. There are dudes who truly hate blackness, their blackness. They want to breed out their, like my kids, they're all black. That's what I'm going to tell them. When they ask, what race am I? I'm like, you're black. You know what I'm saying? You're mixed with different things, but you're black before anything else. Because I'm 100% black. And my wife, she's 50% Mexican, 50% Korean. So literally, you got more black in you than anything else. And also you're brown. You know what I'm saying? All my kids are brown. And so that's how the world is going to see you as well. Yeah, but there are some black dudes who are not happy with their blackness. And they do, you know what I'm saying? They say shit like good hair, da-da-da. Like, I wouldn't think my daughters would be any more beautiful if they were a lighter complexion. You know what I'm saying? I think my daughters are beautiful just the way they are.
Or you hate black women. Or both. But what do y'all think?
I think that's a very interesting conversation to have. And this is such an important issue in the community. And these videos, people need to talk about at the end of the day. Because as a black man, a lot of times, and what I hear from the bros is that it's too much you have to do to impress a black woman or just to be with a black woman. Now, all that self-hate stuff, that's the first go-to that you're going to go. That's projecting BS, trying to gaslight the dude with all this stuff like that because he's deciding to go where he's appreciated. And that's the biggest thing. Go where you're appreciated. It doesn't have to come down to self-hate. That's
a component, though. The self-hate is a component, but there are some dudes who, you know what I'm saying, maybe they had a bad experience with a chick you know what I'm saying, some white girls on their dick, they're like, fuck it, shit.
Is the automatic retort from black women when a black man is like, yo, I just rather, or I just prefer to deal with white women. They're easy to get along with. And I know she put interracial relationships, but she said Eurocentric. So she's definitely referring to white women. So you don't have to hate your own race, even though Dr. Umar and other people would disagree. You don't have to hate your own race to deal with somebody else of a different ethnicity or a different race altogether. I think that is very disingenuous to say that someone hates themselves. Now, I had a conversation not too long ago, and this is with a woman who happened to be a light-skinned woman, and she dated what she would say brown-skinned men or dark-skinned men. And she would ask them that question, how do you feel about your skin color or something along those lines, and say they would very reluctantly answer, shockingly, that they didn't like their skin color. Now, this is her telling it. But to hear this is very disturbing. That's not always the case. Do you have men out there like that try to distance themselves from being black, or distance themselves, or try to make their voice more high pitched, or try to disarm people that aren't black by acting a certain way? Because being a black man today, you have to, it's just walking through life is performative, right? Everything. You have to put on an act a lot of times just so people aren't threatened or afraid of you. And sometimes that's even with trying to get with a woman.
Yeah, you see, but a lot of that comes down to the way you've been programmed. I've fucking undone all of that programming, bro. I do not allow myself to think thoughts like that. I don't allow myself to think because I'm black, or even because I have tattoos or anything like that, that this is going to impact the way that people see me or treat me. I just don't. And that is not my experience. You know what I'm saying? In my experience, pretty much everybody treats me well, regardless of their race or gender or anything like that. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? So it all comes down to the way you speak to yourself and what you believe, because that is going to color how you perceive reality.
Trying to get with a woman to impress her. So if you like a certain type of woman, then you may feel like you have to conduct yourself that way, even though it may not be normal or natural to you. But you've been doing it for so long that ends up becoming your identity. Then again, you have bros who were considered nerdy that black women like her and other black women may not have wanted. What do you do when your own women don't want you? When they say that you're corny, you're not enough of a thug, you like to watch anime, you're too educated, you talk too proper. What do you do? Keep searching, JR. Keep searching till you find the one. Why do I have to go to the ends of the earth to find a woman that appreciates me if I can find a woman of a different race?
I mean, I'll keep it a stack. I never had that problem. You know what I'm saying? When I was in junior year of high school, and I went to a high school in America that was predominantly white and Hispanic, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and white people. And in my junior year, you know what I'm saying, there was this very dark-skinned girl, very beautiful, had a great body, and she was a senior. And you know what I'm saying, she asked me if I would take her to prom by the time I was dating somebody, so I thought it'd be a little weird. But she straight up, she asked me, you feel me? She was like, and I was not carrying myself like a thug or anything like that. So I think that this narrative gets a little too much sauce put on it. Now, yeah, if you're trying to date a girl like Lotto, like Ice Spice, like a chick from the hood who wants a hood dude, then yeah, it probably ain't gonna fly if you're into anime. But to put that on the majority of black women, I think that's not accurate. I think that's not accurate, because the majority of black women aren't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So what they want is a dude with confidence, a dude with masculinity, and you can have all of that and be into anime at the same time.
That appreciates me, that likes me, that thinks I'm cool, shows interest in what it is that I like, instead of me having to put on an act and pretend I like the things that she likes. It's far too much of that going on. And that's why I say a lot of times You have women like this that are just takers. They want you to do everything for them and you get nothing in return. You have to put on an act to try and convince them. And that's not right. But the 9 out of 10 times, the response is you hate yourself or your mama's black. Your mama's black, so what's up with you? And you know, Dr. Umar kind of has the same sentiment in reference to you hate yourself, or the proximity of getting next to a white man is why you get with a white woman, for lack of a better term. But
you know what's crazy though? You see that someone tried that shit with me one time. Oh, you know, they saw that I wasn't dating a black woman or I wasn't married to a black woman. It was just I don't even know this person. It was just a person online trying to take a shot at me and essentially pointing to that fact. And they said that same bullshit. Oh, this dude don't even love his mom. Bro, it's so funny though, but when you take a look at what my mom looks like, this is my mom. This is the woman that gave birth to me. You feel me? And so it's just like, so what now? Does that mean, in fact, if I actually dated a black woman or a dark-skinned woman, that means I don't love my mother? You see how stupid that fucking sounds, dude?
Hey, that's neither here nor there, guys. This is a very touching, strong subject, and a lot of people are sensitive about it. It hits close to home, and it's not about trying to tell somebody who it is that they should like and who it is that they should love. A black man does it, it's a problem. A black man does it, it's a problem. A black woman does it, she's celebrated. And that's not cool. That's very disingenuous and that's very hypocritical to be talking like that. You gonna say it's okay for her to do it? She's showing her value because she's able to attract these different men, but a black man does it, he hates himself, but a black woman doesn't hate herself. You can't get mad at someone that you
It's so funny, bro. I literally just had an interaction with an interracial couple. It was a black chick with a white guy. So funny.
don't even like. You can't. You cannot get mad at someone you don't even like. If you don't like him, what's the problem? Just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to...
Yeah, I would say the dudes who end up kind of in that world, the black dudes who end up dating outside of their race, usually, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced, it's a black guy and he doesn't grow up in a predominantly black area. There are other things, other factors that can be at play, but he doesn't grow up in a predominantly black area. And so the black women that he has to choose from in school, limited. And from what I've seen, because... I mean, it's so nuanced, man. It varies. But from what I've seen, those black girls do typically, I don't know if it's a way of trying to cope with the fact that they're in a non-black space, but you do see them leaning a little bit towards the ratchet kind of side. And then they don't, you know what I'm saying? So they're not going for bro who isn't hood, who isn't, you know what I'm saying, a certain kind of black guy. And then that dude, he ends up finding a little Latina, a little white girl, a little whatever to show him some attention. And then he gets older. He's in college. He graduates college. Now he's a grown man. And he's, you know what I'm saying, he's worked out a little bit of the quirks that he might have had in middle school or high school, and now he's successful, and they're black women. A lot of those black girls, they've outgrown that kind of ratchet culture, and they've made some out of their lives, and now they're looking at bro like he's an actual candidate that they would shack up with. They don't even care that he likes to watch anime. Shit, she down to try watching a little anime with him. But now, bro's been dipping in them interracial waters for so long, he might now have a real serious girl, or he might now have a certain taste. He's like, he has an affinity now for those chicks because those are the kind of chicks that gave him a little attention back in middle school and high school. it's usually that archetype of black dude, I think, that gets a lot of this flack, because the reality is statistically most people date within their race. And I think black men who grow up in predominantly black areas, most of the time, the grand majority of the time, they're going to end up with a black woman. So, but that's just what I've been able to observe as a guy who moved here from a different country, you know, as a teenager. But you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe, all of that.